Welcome everyone to the first chapter in our Roof Denied series. What's interesting is that we actually have 3 roofs that we're putting on this week alone that went through the process, were originally denied, and now have been approved. We're taking videos of those. You'll see the before, you'll see the after, you'll see our process. It's going to be pretty cool. This is a roof we worked on last year. It took us about 8 months to get fully resolved, and we'll go through it. The location of this roof is in Salina, Texas, and this was because of discontinued shingles. Now the homeowner lives in this beautiful multi-million-dollar home. A storm hit in that area and she thought a tornado hit her house. It was so loud. They actually have a big pond behind the house. Stuff was flying everywhere. Thankfully, she's safe. This roof is actually a pretty tough roof. It is pretty bomber proof. They don't get damaged that easily. The only issue, it's discontinued. So in this case, we have a nice, beautiful multi-million-dollar house. And we have several shingles because of the wind forces in that area that simply tore off. Unfortunately, when there's a discontinued shingle on a house, even though it's a really nice Stormmaster slate shingle, if we can't find replacement shingles on that, the only thing we can do to restore this house to pre-loss condition is to replace adjuster. He had mentioned that he'd probably get the other damage taken care of, but he probably wouldn't be able to get the roof bought. Knowing this carrier, they have a 100% track record of denying roofs like this. And most contractors don't know how to fight that. So here are some shingles blown off, one larger shingle. These are more susceptible because of the bends here, and then some smaller shingles. Damages to the collateral, because this is important. There needs to be a story. This actually did have hail-producing weather as well, in addition to the wind. Typically, we do a preliminary inspection to look and assess and see if there is damage. If there is, we do make recommendations to call the claim in. We don't do that ourselves. We don't hard sell. We simply show the photos, let the homeowner make the decision themselves. Notice on the soft nails on the top of the roof, on the caps, and on the slant backs, we've got quite a few dents there. Chalk makes it easier to see. We have damage to the windows. You can see on this that there is damage to some of the stucco. And this is what the carrier provided to the homeowner. They gave for gutters. They gave for window screens. They gave for a portion of the roof. This is always interesting to me. They gave for 14 shingles. I always ask, well, which 14 shingles are you approving? Because I didn't see 14 shingles that were torn by the wind up there. They won't answer that. And they gave for some caps, so some metals, some venting, chimney flashing. There was also some damage to the interior of this house. Some water did come in from the wind, broke some of the seals in the windows, did some damage. What the carrier paid, coincidentally, is $9,367.35 with a deductible of $14,000. I was not at all surprised. So if you look at the size of this house, this is the drawing and the dimensions. 95.25 squares. A square is 100 square feet. Just a one-story house. 900 feet of ridges and hips. That is a lot of hip and ridge. This is a big house, so there's no dispute as to why the carrier did not want to pay this. They should have. 5 years ago, they probably would have outright, but things have changed. Carriers are denying roofs left and right. In fact, I would say probably about 20 to 30% of the roofs that we inspect that have damage on them get denied. Damage does not hide. So what we had to do on this one, because the shingle was discontinued, we had to prove that it was discontinued. We removed some shingles with the permission of the homeowner, sent that to NTS for analysis. They do a great job, by the way. I am not a paid sponsor. So we sent it to them. They identified the product, and they identified that this is Atlas Stormmaster Slate. Again, an excellent shingle. Unfortunately, they stopped making it several years ago. And this is the letter verifying and documenting that that is a discontinued shingle. We also, as part of our analysis, we do look at where Xactimate doesn't work very well with the pricing. We do get quotes for the areas outside of scope. In this case, we had some damage to a few of the condenser units that we pulled the serial numbers and looked at that damage. Provided an estimate to the carrier for that. Once it went through the process, it did take several months. We did have to provide a lot of information. The awarded scope was the roofing system, the gutters, the HVAC repair, screens and beading, and interior water damage. I would love to take you through the details of all this, but there's so much identifying information on it that it's very difficult to do. So the summary is that what was awarded in total was a little over $115,000. One of the things we pride ourselves on is we do all the work. When you look at the pricing on this, we don't mind if the scope is accurate. We do mind if the carrier or the insurance company is telling us what our pricing should be. If there is a pricing in dispute, there's a process for that. This went through that process, and the claim went from, what was it, $8,000 or so to $115,000. This lovely owner was able to get a brand new roof, class 4 impact rated. We were able to do all the gutters, do all the interior repairs. She even added some additional interior work that she'd been wanting to do for a while, because we do a lot of water restoration and fire restoration as well, even mold remediation. We were able to do that for her. And now you get to enjoy the show.
When G3 is your GC, it's more than work, it's family. We make the hard stuff look easy. Yeah, G3's got you, believe me. There's no reason to fear when G3's on the case. Every question answered. Yeah, we do this every day, from the damage to the plan. We've got you covered, no delay. Relax, lean back. G3 is on the way. There's no reason to fear when G3's on the case. Every question answered. Yeah, we do this every day, from the damage to the plan. We've got you covered, no delay. Relax, lean back. G3 is on the way.